Developer log, stardate 08312018. This is it, guys. This is the last day for me to hit our goal of having all of the units done, all of the enemy units done and in the game by the end of this month. So today is the last day of the month. So today's the day that I'm supposed to have all of this done. I've got one more big boss to do. So I'm pretty close. I've got that one boss to do today, and then all of the units that we have designed and we have ready to be built into the game will be built into the game, which is pretty exciting. So I've got a lot more enemy types that I could show you today. I'm going to try to make this video a little bit more instructional and a little less just show and tell. So I will show you a little bit of what's going on here with this next arena, but then we're going to jump out and we're going to look at some things that I've learned over the last couple of weeks while developing this stuff quickly, and I want to tell you a little bit about what it's been like to develop so many different types of enemies in such a short amount of time. So let's jump into this. Gonna go new game. So this is the Freeco area. It's very bright right now. A lot brighter. Well, I don't know if it's brighter, but it's a lot more colorful than other areas that we have so far, which is nice. I don't know what my volume is doing. Okay, that's good. So let's see if I can find any enemies here. There are a bunch of new ones. Yes, these guys, these are just more bomb guys. This guy is very new. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Crash. So I should tell you that, and I know how to fix this. I've seen this problem before. So all of these are untested. I've been developing these guys so fast that I have not really had time to test very many of them or test much of their functionality. So this is kind of a wild stab in the dark. So I'm going to have a lot of bug fixing to do over the next month to make up for the problems that I've built this month. But here's this guy. This guy's new. This is a hack who generates these little flower things, if you can call them flowers. Run away. Oh, I could actually probably... Nope, can't. I thought I could maybe kill him, and that mistake cost me dearly. So these little plant guys, they shoot at you. And boy, there's a lot of them. Oh, this guy's not good news. Oh, shoot. Ah. Crash. This is very humbling to show you how buggy my code is. I don't even know what's wrong with this. I've never seen this error before. Invalid set index alive. So he died, but then his animation finished after he died. Is that what happened? Target unit alive. Yeah, so target unit is gone. So I know how to fix this. We have to check if target unit exists, and target unit is queued for deletion. It's not auto-completing. Yeah, that might be right. Looks decent. All right. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time debugging and fixing my code on screen, but I wanted to at least show you some of the new things that I've got going on here. This guy's pretty interesting. He spawns faster than you can kill him. He spawns plants faster than you can kill him by quite a bit. So he's a little bit of an interesting challenge. Come on. Oh. And that dude, you saw he just disappeared. He actually took control of a couple of my units, looks like. Run away. So this area is very punishing. in case you haven't noticed this already. It's not easy. Oh, those guys. Yes, these guys are my enemies now. They're attacking me too, which is not good. So, there you go. So yeah, these guys were converted by that little brain dude that showed up, and they're my enemies now. That also seems to be broken. There's just a lot of things wrong with this. This guy shoots arrows. Ow. And they hurt a lot. Oh, like that. So I don't know how. I don't even know how. I'm very dead in this situation. So yeah, that's the new area, guys. That's a few of the new things I've got going on there. I want to now show you a little bit about some of the things I've learned. Obviously, I haven't learned how to build perfect things the first time without bugs. But yeah, if you find a programmer who can do that, let me know. I would like to hire him. So anyway, let us look at those arrows first of all. I'm going to go over to my units. He's not a mini boss. He is one of my troops. So I've got this spike drone. And so this is novice game programmer stuff here. If you're a veteran game programmer, I'm sure you're going to shake your head at me. But this dude, he uses raycasting. And turns out Godot has really nice, really well done raycasting. And you can also even see here, you can graphically see exactly how these rays work. So every frame, it sends out a ray that goes in a certain direction. And if that ray hits anything, then it triggers a function. And my function is very simple. If I can find it, check ray. So it just checks if it hits an object and if the object has method hurt, which is kind of a hacky way of making sure that it's an enemy or an ally that it actually hits. And then it checks if it's on the same team or not, or rather if it's not on the same team, and then it returns true or false, or it returns the object or it returns false. So it checks this every frame. So if anything goes through one of those rays, then it spawns an arrow. And the arrow is really nice and simple because I just take this instance, I give it its location and its velocity, and then the arrow takes care of everything else, which is an important concept I'm learning. So in here, and it's super simple too, in here in the ready function, it just checks the velocity like this, and it adjusts its sprite based on what direction it's flying. So it's really, really simple, really easy, and makes things a lot cleaner and more reusable. So now these spears I can use in any context, and they just work. As long as I set the velocity correctly, they will always look right, and they also take care of their own collisions. And they destroy themselves when they leave the screen. So I like this. I like this framework for these projectiles. I'm going to be using this same framework for all of my projectiles going forward. I've used similar things for my past projectiles, but this is much cleaner and nicer than anything I've done to this point. So it also controls its movement. That's what this is. It's just changing its global position by its velocity every frame. So this is actually probably not what I should be doing. I use area 2Ds for these because I like having these events. Body entered is the event that I use for basically damaging a unit if he gets hit by this projectile. So that's why I use an area 2D. I don't feel like that's really what area 2Ds are supposed to do. I don't think they're supposed to move, really, but it works really well. And as far as I know, it doesn't have any, I haven't tested if it has any big performance implications. That would be a good thing to check. But for now, that's what I'm doing, and it's working pretty well. So yeah, those are two little things that I've learned over the last couple of weeks. Two things that have been helpful for me. I've also learned a lot about particle systems, which I could talk about. And let me just show you this wind that I have. Let me turn the particles on. So this is like a wind effect. It goes over this whole box, where when this is on, it basically just pulls a unit towards whatever is generating the wind. And this is a little bit broken, it's a little bit buggy, but it does seem to work pretty well. And I like using particle effects for something like this, where it's not, you can tell it's not just a static animation, because they're kind of spawning all over this box. But it's also pretty predictable and easy to do, basically. It doesn't take a lot of time to set something up like this. In the material, you just give it an animation, and the animation just loops through your texture, which is here. You can see my texture is just a sprite sheet. I could show that to you, probably, but it's a texture with all of the images just in 2 rows, basically. There are 4 frames on top, 2 frames vertically. So that's what these H frames and V frames are. So it's really simple, really easy to do. And this also is self-contained. It has all of the functionality for making wind work in this file. So it's pretty nice. It's nice to have self-contained things like this, where you just drop this into the map and it just works. So that's nice. That is a skill that didn't necessarily translate over from the programming I've done in the past, because I've never had like these nice little encapsulated scenes that I can use before. So I'm just starting to learn to use scenes in Godot to their full effect, and I would encourage you to do the same thing. It's really handy when you use scenes well in this engine. So I think that'll be it for this week, guys. Check back next week for more content for the 3rd arena. Now that I've got all the units in place, I need to actually start designing the levels themselves and just dropping those units in, and to make sure we've got enough variety and robust enough units to make a engaging experience. So I'm going to be doing that over the next week. I've also been doing some music, which I'd like to talk about at some point. I've been learning how to use a program called Milky Tracker, which I will show you at some point, because that's part of the process of building a game here. So yeah, music, we'll talk about that, and we will continue talking about Godot and continuing to build a simple adventure game like this in Godot. So thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll be back next week.